It definitely does. It's a very interesting vetoes you mentioned. We have two other maps, of course, in the best of three. Starting on Ancient, Inferno's map 2 picked by Fluxo, and the remaining map is Nuke. The most important factor I took away from the vetoes box just before this game starts is the fact that Fluxo banned Mirage, their best map, or one of their best maps. They're banning maps that they know, lower not lower tier, but teams that are below them statistically are going to have a chance on. So they're playing to strengths. They're trying to give themselves the maximum opportunity to win. And with that said, Fluxo, starting on the CT side of Ancient, have their work cut out for them. INTZ straight into an execute over towards this B site. In come the nades, the smokes, but the spam through it has been very potent. Bob's down to one, but through the smoke, bullets do come through in response. Desh with the P250 finds the headshot clear through VSM. That was the most effective player from the first best of three, taken out without a real chance at an honest fight.
Now Desh has that P250 in hand, delivers another shot onto Woody this time, but Phelps opens up his account very early, taps the bomb, has the kit, baits out the spam from Leo in towards Cave. Another one for Phelps. Lukowski goes in as Phelps gets a third W1, and Leo will mop up the rest. A bit of a heartbeat raiser for INTZ, but they do come out on top in the end. Pistol round converted. That is back-to-back pistol losses for Fluxo, despite starting out the day 3-0. But they're going to force back into it. Take a page out of the 9Z book. Phelps already heating up. It's a very good sign for Fluxo. Famas in his hands. Deagles across history. VSM Lukowski. Woody on a 5-7. Full force for Fluxo. 2 AKs, 2 Galils. Mac 10 for INTZ. A good amount of utility as well behind the Brazilian buy. But the Deagles, the pistols, the Famas, they can do damage, especially if they're not looked for. INTZ have to be very careful, because Fluxo would love nothing more than to stop this push at 1 and get on the board early.
The Deagles up close and personal can be very damaging. We know that they nerf at range, like 2 years ago now, that nerf at range?
Yeah.
But up close and personal, they can still get like a 2 or 3 body shot kill. So up towards the caves, towards
the stomach,
Jaguar.
3 to the chest.
Okay. And in that range, it could be 4 or 5 even. It's kind of crazy how much it's been neutered, but up close.
To the head still.
Yeah, always a one shot to the head pretty much, unless it's through a wall. But like Donut, Jaguar, where those Deagles can spam away. We saw it on Hut in the opening matchup between Fluxo and 9Z. I think it was David Deus. Up close and personal, up top Hut, finding 2 with a spam. You could see something similar from Lukowski here in towards the caves. Just had that from Mossa support as well. Phelps close doesn't find it. There's the Deagle spam. Only good for 1 though. Good trade from Lub. Stem the bleeding, prevent anything from going out of control. 3 versus 4. 2 Deagles and a 5-7. Bomb plant is going to go down uncontested. Flank coming through from 2. VSM spotted though. And in the meanwhile, Woody falls. Just history. Who's that B-side defender? He's now in a 1 versus 4. And with no real shot, he's going to try to save his rifle and armor for the following. Give them something to work with in round number 3. As it stands, INTZ are securing the second and converting their pistol round victory.
With minimal casualties as well, just losing the Mac 10 from the looks of things, unless history finds a pick onto Lub, which still seems very unlikely. INTZ will go into their third round with a very good bonus. And Fluxo will have nothing to buy with, so INTZ can just focus on building the cash, building the money, getting that T economy out to a very uncontrollable Leviathan very early on in the game. So, great start for INTZ. I think we do have to make sure that we all know that this is not your grandpa's Ancient, and it still is T-sided now, but I think that
it's T-sided, but Fluxo picked CT side. Keep that in mind.
Everyone, I think, has the habit of starting on CT side. I've seen more and more teams starting on T side, though, for Ancient, when they have the choice.
Yeah, but it could, be a signal that maybe Fluxo aren't too well studied on the map. They still don't want to pick that T side because it requires a lot more coordination, a lot more utility, a lot more timings. So, an opportunity again for INTZ. They've made the right map pick. I said this was one of the most important things in the green room, and they did read it correctly. They did make the right call. And thus far, it has paid off. Looking for a third. Another interesting thing that I've noted, Boggs, is that a lot of these South American teams, they don't trifle with the SMGs. It's 4 rifles and 1 Mac 10. 1 spearhead to harvest the cash, and when it falls, it doesn't really matter. Let the rifles trade out. However, that Deagle of History does chime in for 1. Love, though, doubles down in response, takes him out. History, there's no way here. At 11 HP, there's no way. How does he find that on the Leo? There should be no way he finds that before the smoke blooms.
A little bit of luck for Fluxo in the wrong round as history is removed. VSM P250 spams away for one onto Lub, but W1 will get the next one in return. 3-0 start, but a bit of a casualty-laden round for INTZ as they have some difficulties with that, like I had with that sentence. So INTZ, they're lucky to win that one with it keeping 2 alive. It's still not great, though. They have to trim away into the economy, get the op out on Desh. Hop in for history as well. Let's see if he can heat up with that big green gun much quicker than he did on Mirage. That was more like a cold smoke. He needs to go off like a propane grill. And some cave aggression from Fluxo. Phelps and Lucalzi going up aggressively, tossing them all in towards Snake. Not going to go all the way through. They are going to get some pressure that a ways. And Woody backs away from mid-house. That angle has been completely abandoned. 2-3 split. Giving up the midfield. Interesting call for Fluxo on the CT side. Aggression is going to be the name of the game. They do spot out W1, but they can't quite get the kill. He's on 1 HP. The nade too late. 6 HP, but not the kill.
A lot of probing from Fluxo. They went into cave and they're going all the way up to Jaguar. They probe in towards the A main side of things, the A long area. And now they're probing down B ramp. It's so much pressure. It's almost smothering.
And that's why they can give up mid, too.
Yeah, they can just completely give up mid. History holding the op towards Donut, finds one just walking into the angle. Woody left alone over towards Long is at least a canary in the coal mine. Gives History the notification, but History doesn't expect Bobs. I thought he spotted the crossing. Instead, the T's get out, and they've made something out of this round. They secure the advantage, 3 versus 2. As Fluxo clearly do not have a clear read of the situation. We were praising them, and now it's all falling apart to shambles. Phelps and Lucalzi gonna try to retake, try to stop the bomb plant, but to no avail. Lub on site finds one, and Phelps now back towards the halls. Has no real shot in this round. Can't even recover the op. He's gonna try to save his M4 for the following. But this is the best start INTZ could ask for.
4 up. Fluxo barely able to get anything on the board. And this is a worse start for Fluxo than their series against 9Z, where at least they won the pistol rounds to kick off the maps. This time they don't even get that. They're sitting on a goose egg, and INTZ up 4-0. It is their map pick, and it is the one map where they really have an advantage over Fluxo, that and Anubis. So it was either Anubis or Ancient for Fluxo. It was pick your poison. They picked into Ancient, but right now Fluxo's individuals are not hitting their shots. They have a combined 9 kills, 4 rounds into the game. We're at 5 now. And over on the INTZ side, they've got a combined 18. They've got literally double the kills.
I just want to highlight, did one of the players drop an AK for that M4?
I believe so, yes.
The spams. It's for those spams. The tracers don't come through. I think
no
it's
helmets.
No helmets also. You know, they'll have helmets in the following. And actually 2 of them do have helmets. Phelps and Woody. Well, now just Woody.
I know a lot of players like to pick up the M&S for those spams, just because it's also very easy to manage.
It's very easy to manage. I do respect it. I just think it's interesting. It only works on a couple maps. I would say Ancient's probably the best map for it to work on, though. This map has so many spams, whether it's towards Jaguar, through the wall, through all of the smokes. You see a lot of spams on this map. I do like the call. Yeah, Vertigo's also a good one. And Fluxo, the exact opposite of their mid-absent round in the round prior. They're going full on towards the middle instead. And it's being met with even worse results. Granted, it was a half buy. Be expected. At this point, they might even consider saving the Kevlar MP9 and the Kevlar M4. They'll definitely save the M4, but the MP9 also a bleak possibility.
Not ideal, to put it lightly. Lub going hunting, runs into Woody, and does not get cut down by Woody. Instead does the chopping of the tree. VSM, the last man alive, sitting in towards Jaguar. Here's them running in. Lub's low HP. What? What a little jiggle from Lub, and VSM just clicked the wrong angle.
He had 18 health. He had 18 health. He was so quick on the trigger.
Well, he got tagged by the bomb explosion, not by VSM.
That's crazy. We talked about it as well. Lub is the second lowest individual performer on this team, and he is out the gate swinging at 8 kills top of the server. That is a very big help to INTZ's chances of success. In addition to the map, of course, in addition to everything else. Fluxo do finally have another buy on the board. History's on an AUG rather than the AWP, and there are 4 M4s surrounding, 2 A4s, 2 A1Ss. A lot of spam. But it is INTZ to come out on top of the spam duels. VSM dropped. He had a heck of a first series. He was the only one keeping the minute. This time around, it's not nearly so lucky. Kowsey now playing the pixel angle over towards the caves. Might even find one. But no, forced away by the utility. INTZ, the protocols are just so much better than Fluxo's.
Did
Such
Fluxo
a good...
have protocols for this map?
Doesn't feel like it. I felt like they did it on that first rifle round when they totally gave up middle. But then it all went to the wind. It all just fell apart. It was like a house of cards.
It's a pretty brutal start. And INTZ showing no signs of slowing down. They're just meandering around the map, doing their job. Kind of just traipsing about. They'll get a site, they'll get some openings, they'll hold it down, rinse and repeat. They get a lot of map control, they get some picks. They still have that op in the hands of Desh. History thinks about going aggressive, thinks better of it. Good decision. As here comes some utility towards the A side. Low time on the clock. History up close and personal. The Aga one-shot headshot there. Used it for one. Lukowski around that smoke. Traded by Desh. But it's still a 3v2 to the favor of Fluxo. W1 met by History, who's heating up with the AUG, not the AWP. Desh is on an island. He's stuck alone. Run down from behind. And finally, Fluxo get around on the board. It comes on a very delayed take from INTZ. A hero play from History, who goes to his op. And something that Fluxo needed was History to show up. He does so at a key moment. Now they're going to try and just turn this tide. There's a good amount of cash still built up on the T side. It will not be the easiest task to build back into the series.
It won't. That was a killer 3K as well. This is another map where, normally teams think about the AUG as being like a mid-range weapon, like a replacement for the op when you're desperate. But on a map like Ancient where it's close, it does have that one-shot potential at point-blank ranges. So it is very useful, especially like towards that Jaguar, that cave opening even. So I love to see it use their great success from History. The question is, can he have the same on the op? Well, we'll have to wait to see. VSM and Woody again disentrenched towards middle. Lukowski on an island towards Jaguar has to be a hero, as does Phelps over towards the red doors. Lukowski, he does find one, sure, but Phelps takes a lot of damage in the meanwhile. INTZ still have the man advantage. Question is, where do they want to go?
They do have a couple wounded players. Bob's down at 17 HP, one-shot territory. W1, two-shot at 46. They do have the manpower advantage, but is it good enough? Is it enough? Phelps backing out of red. Makes the right read and heads towards B. That's where INTZ are all gathering. 2-1 split. As Phelps actually goes back to a 1-1-1. Smoke will buy a little bit of time. Lukowski spots Desh out. And that should signal rotations from at least Phelps. He's making his move back. But INTZ not really moving after that contact, not panicking, trying to bait Fluxo into some aggression. Backing off and back towards A. I love this call from INTZ.
They pulled the rotation from middle. They now can rotate through. This is a very big and very solid read. History now at the op. Going to struggle. He'll find one, but can he find a second? Not before preventing the bomb plan. He'll try to do so with the Molotov, but it gets down in the nick of time. They can now fall back in towards Donut. It's an even 3 versus 3. Oh, but Phelps catches W1 jumping up. That was a bit of an aggressive call from the T side. Fluxo now have the advantage. 2 versus 3. The players are also smoked off towards Donut. Smoke fades and there's no replacement. That makes this post plant, this retake, a lot more difficult for Fluxo. Awkward. It's back and forth. Flash comes in. They have to peek it. They spot it. They don't see anybody. They'll have to stick it now. Here it comes. The op doesn't connect. Love finds one. Traded by Phelps. The defuse, though, has been abandoned, as has the round. Desh will go down with the bomb, as will the 2 defending players. And Fluxo cannot secure a second in a row. That is INTZ swiftly clapping back with a scorched earth policy. All 10 players falling.
All 10 fall, but Fluxo's economy is in the gutter. INTZ more than enough to reinvest. And when you look at Fluxo here, getting that one round isolated is not great. They have M4s, a smattering of util, not one kit, even though Woody could have bought one. He has $500 in the bank. But he's going to push anyway, so I guess that's why he didn't buy, because he figured it'd be lying on the ground. But VSM, good opening with one. That's the start that Fluxo needs. Lukowski onto Leo, who can't control the spray. And just like that, a double man advantage for Fluxo about 25 seconds into the round.
Openings just missed opportunities. You know, Monster and W1. 3 versus 5. Lub just patiently waiting. Very close to finding the headshot there, but Phelps hits the spray to range with the M4. As we mentioned, it's so easy to control. Bob's now, meanwhile, smoked out of the A main. He'll try to at least feign some pressure, but they're in front of that flash. They know what's going on. VSM has complete control. The 2 remaining players are stuck with next to no map control and next to no information. One of them has an op as well. That's an incredibly unwieldy weapon when you're going for contact plays. At this point, they might even consider the save. They won't be able to get an op in the following. Actually, they might. W1 might be able to drop it, but they're nearing the end of their economic rope. So they'll at least try for something towards B, but nothing presents itself. They might have to forfeit it. Yeah, giving it away. Fluxo, take this blessing. Do not let anybody hunt. 5 players surviving on the CT side is a blessing for your economy. It's a massive boon. Just keep all 5 players alive, and then allow that to build your CT economy from there.
Fluxo starting a war of attrition, but keeping all 5 alive actually makes this viable. Usually on the CT side, you can't really go 1 for 1 for 1 for 1 because your economy ends up in tatters. A timeout called by INTZ now. They don't like the way this is going, and I don't blame them. I don't quite like it either for INTZ. It seems that they are starting to slip away a little bit, and Fluxo are gaining ground a little by little. It's not been a clean start. They're having to crawl through the mud here on the swamps in Ancient, but they're able to claw back. That flawless victory gives them a huge boost economically, morale-wise, confidence-wise for sure. And I think INTZ are going to have to rethink their strategy a little bit here. They're starting to lose those initial aim duels. And when that ground, those picks go away, it's very hard to play the T side of Ancient. Maybe it's time to start prioritizing the utility a little more instead of just going for those dry fights.
Use that strap book. You know they have it. See some more interesting calls. Dash towards the middle. He has had tremendous success here. Smoke does always have a sizable gap, but no one's forcing the issue this time around. Dash will not. Howsey spamming. That's perfectly placed from him. Getting aggressive in towards Jaguar. He takes down Lub. He throws the smoke for near complete control, and they'll spam even more. This is why we call this map a spammy one. Desh will find the trade. Lukowski finally peeks out a little bit too far, and he's caught by the player down bottom middle. That was a lot of information gained for Fluxo. INTZ, though, aren't at all scared. They're not getting desperate. They're still playing their own game. History, though, an unexpected down the B stairs. Spots one, takes him down. Not spot the bomb, but he has secured the advantage. Phelps furthers it, finding one towards the caves. Dash on the op, has to bail his team out. He found the first, but he still needs more. Still a man deficit situation. DSM's already on the flank. Dash is wise to it. He finds the second. He takes a dink, but he gets the kill. And this is looking more and more doable. The bomb is recovered. At this point, Dash might just be throwing a fake, and he is. W1's going to have an empty bomb site. Sure, Phelps finds the kill, but this is a very doable 1 versus 2 for W1.
History will probably be picking up an op here. Although, actually, no, he's not. He's going to stay on the rifle. That's a wise call. You don't want to end up in a 1v1 of this situation with an op in hand. Although he probably wants it. His hands are itching. He knows it's best to have the rifle here, especially as they go for a double swing out through cave. Creeping on towards the B site. W1 down towards CT. He has to know they're not coming that direction. That should clue them into where they're coming from. Flashbang is good, but W1 still there. Sprays the first time on his side now.
Good flash.
History's gotta go. What a flash indeed. Nothing history can do. This round is history in the favor of INTZ. And down with the bomb goes W1. That's another round where we all 10 tie. But INTZ should be more than happy with that. They've got up to 7. And Fluxo gonna buy up again. But it's gonna be a bit scrappy. Light on utility. Maybe lacking a defuse kit once again. The timeout works for INTZ, but this buy for them. It's horrendous. 3 Galils, a MAC-10, only 1 AK. Only 2 Molotovs. This is far from ideal.
It was another scorched earth round. It was another round where everybody fell. Aggression from INTZ over towards the A main. VSM finds 1 and 2. History, a third on the Bobs over towards Donut. The aggression falling apart entirely. Very timely rotation coming in from Fluxo. He was just W1. He didn't even get the bomb. 1 versus 5. At this point, he's fighting for survival, not even the round victory. So many tag players, Woody and History, down to 8 and 11 respectively. But finding even 1 here for W1 would be a miracle.
Feels like W1's trying to save. Waiting for people to aggress into his crosshair. Just trying to stay alive. Considering they have no money, I don't hate it. At the same time, no, he doesn't know those players are low, though. That's the other thing. We know that the players are very low, so we're thinking, oh yeah, you can go get those kills. Go get them, buddy. But he doesn't know that at all. It's a rough spot to be in for INTZ. They might as well use this as another tactical timeout, too. Because this is almost a repeat of, what was it now, 5 rounds ago? Where it was just initial duels won by Fluxo towards Donut, towards Cave.
Yep.
And INTZ were never able to recover.
Very similar. When the going gets rough, how do they respond? That's our question. Granted, they have been winning their duels more often than not. I didn't even look at the stats. What is the TZ win percentage for INTZ? We're at that point where we should probably figure that out, or I should probably figure that out.
50.8.
50. It's actually lower than I would have expected. INTZ are a CT-sided team?
Fluxo is T-sided at 46.9.
That doesn't count that they're both, it's like negative. It's less than 50% on both sides, you know?
INTZ
I'm much more interested in the
55.9.
INTZ. Yeah, I'm much more interested in
On
that.
CT.
The fact that they're still CT-sided even after the update is crazy to me. What?
It's very interesting.
It's interesting,
Food
but
for thought.
speaking of food, getting hungry.
Me too.
As is W1. Boosted up. Bobs actually finds the first kill across the map. That was towards middle with the deagle.
That was a snake pick.
It was a disgusting shot from him. History, though, doubles down in response, and VSM just slinking out of Donut finds 1. W1 finally strikes from above, finding a single kill, but only a single kill. History and Woody find the final 2 nails in the coffin. Fluxo are finally emerging, finally finding their footing on this CT side, but again, we still haven't seen anything crazy from them. We haven't seen anything, protocol-wise or utility-wise or timing, team-based wise. It's been individual duels won. We haven't seen anything crazy that really instills confidence in them as a team, especially required when they have yet to play their T side.
Aggression from Fluxo down middle as it's Glocks out for INTZ, just a P250, looking for a bomb. CSF first one straight down, second one as well. Bobs does get the one with the P250, but that's all they'll get. As Fluxo will grab 5, looking to grab more. Maybe if they can get in 8th round, it would be huge. 7 even would be something to build on. But it's overall a very rough situation INTZ find themselves in. See. AKs again. Utility sparse. Fluxo. No op still for History. He's doing it with the rifle. He's actually top of the board without the AWP. Which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing for Fluxo. I think the good thing is he's at the top of the scoreboard. Bad thing is it's not his primary role. Either way, they need rounds. Doesn't matter how they get them. Get to 7, bare minimum out of this half. That's the goal for Fluxo.
The main goal. Also good to see that Phelps is carrying his own weight at the very least. Not the star that you would expect, but still 9 kills and 6 deaths. That's pretty good. Definitely better than what we saw in that first series. INTZ, this is where they're going with stuff. This is where I want to see something different. A protocol, some good fancy utility to tip the scales in your favor. Something different. Right now, it's like they're just kind of stalled out. They're just waiting. They're hoping for some over-aggression that we saw from Fluxo in the early stages of this map. But the CD side will show no such openings.
Lots of time ticked by, but no picks for either side. No damage, as a matter of fact. VSM's finally pushing all the way through A, in towards T's spawn. Looking to get him behind him. Woody, he's up and about. Leo will get the opening on VSM. The catch has been caught. But Woody, he's just faded Lukowski entirely. All of that to die. All of that to die after getting one kill. Oh, that's disastrous for Fluxo. That's absolutely a disaster class right there. Phelps goes aggressive, spots the bomb, but gets mowed down by Dash. History around Miller on B. Will get found out momentarily. Dash with the AK, and that's a pair. And that's 8th on the board for INTZ. That's the half secured for INTZ. And, well, this one just got a lot harder for Fluxo, but they decided to make things a little bit more interesting by pulling out the double boomsticks. 2 AWPs out, Lukowski and History.
Interesting call. It's a daring call. It's a big investment. They have next to no money left in the bank for the final round of the half if they lose this. INTZ not even trifling with the boomstick, just AKs across the board with decent utility. Bob's has already worked out as well. Molotov well placed, forces Woody into the open. He's taken down. VSM now next at bat. Will find one. Second player's a one shot as well in the head, but VSM won't elect to take the duel. Looking to exploit Phelps. He gets very eager with the ramp, and again, he's just blindsided the player in the corner. 4 versus 3 secured another advantage for INTZ, and they have complete caves control as well. TSET has made some very quick adjustments, and they are back in the driver's seat.
Four v3, 2 ops out of 3 players alive. Does not make a retake very viable. No kid either in the possession of Fluxo. INTZ ready to stroll on towards the B site. VSM has had a lot of work for the right. That smoke keeps him at bay. Backs away. This could just be a save round for Fluxo in round number 14. That's exactly what they're going to do. A save in round 14. 9-5 for INTZ on their own map pick on T side. And statistically, INTZ are better when they go to the blue. Fluxo do not look themselves today.
Here's the fatigue. It was the same thing for INTZ when they finally had their breakout run at the last major. They began their squad, quite a lengthy one. Seems like the same thing is happening now for Fluxo. Hopefully, I hope it's just a brief moment. They're back at home. They're relaxing. They're, taking a much needed brief break before the major, and hopefully they'll get the cogs spinning once again.
The ops survive, an MP9 and another M4 purchased up for Fluxo as we hit round 15. Final round of this first half. And now, VSM. Lukowski with that opening kill. Get something good. W1 picked off by Woody, pushing down mid. Fluxo's aggression paying dividends for them again. They finally get this done. They finally go aggressive. And it works again. They desperately need the 6th if they want a chance to come back in this map. But still, INTZ end up getting to these rounds where they get peeked on by Fluxo. They're unable to respond, lose a couple big players, and that's about it. It's donezo. And they find it impossible to get back into the round, although there is an open A site, relatively open. History's just keeping a cursory eye on it with an op. INTZ have been playing very slow this half, and I think Fluxo have read this well.
INTZ changed things up. They took their dry fights when the dry fights were going good. That kind of slow things down. The issue is when they slow things down, they can't just lose the openings outright like they did here. 3 versus 5, they'll slowly ascertain mid control. Slowly work things down. Steps are probably heard at this point. There's a player in the back calls a player holding the cross towards CT. And VSM peeking is the first casualty instead. Desh finds the opening. That is now an opportunity. Still man down, but they can get that plant at the very least. To the nick of time as well. History lurking in these halls. Comes out, looks towards Donut, sees nothing. Continues forward, finds the first. Lubs holding on the side. The second player up top. Bobs has to do it all. He'll find the first, but it Phelps drops Dash in the meanwhile, and Bob is the last alive. Has to do it all. He finds one, not the second. It is Fluxo to recover to bring us to a very nice score of 6-9. We'll see if they can recover further after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips here with the act. Fluxo versus INTZ. It is map number 1, the pick of INTZ in Ancient. And while Fluxo did recover in the end, they didn't show us anything to be too excited about. I'm very worried about their T side. It requires a lot more coordination, a lot more utility, a lot more know-how. And we didn't see a lot of it on their CT side. INTZ, also a CT favored team, looking to defend this B bomb site is the dualies. They'll only be good for one. Desh a second in the meanwhile. Slight advantage for INTZ going into the retake.
Another one from Dash. Woody falls to the very same man who's on a hat trick. History, the last man alive. Gonna try and get some work done. But Dash dashes his hopes. Makes it a 4-piece, and, well, defuse comes through for INTZ. Fluxo, they do get the bomb down, so they can force. But Fluxo just can't really get anything going at all on this map against INTZ. And Inferno is waiting in the wings. Not the best map for INTZ, as a matter of fact. 2 losses to 0-0 Nation in the past 3 months, and a loss to Fluxo as well. But at the very least, they're looking very good on Ancient so far. Fluxo, Khalil's, Deagle, Tech9. 4 spies in effect. Desh has his op because of those 4 kills, Nate. He's got an op round 2.5.
That's a bit bonkers, and it is against a 4 spy as well with 3 Galils for Fluxo. An AUG. I'd love to see it. Again, I talked about history's use of it in the prior half, and he had tremendous success. I love to see the AUG here. Aggression towards Donut. There are 2 players, Bobs and the op. The op finds 1, the op finds 2, but in the meanwhile, Bobs does fall. W1 in the back lines now supporting towards A main, finds a single kill in response. It is the advantage for INTZ. It's looking to be a rather clean round as well. Only 1 falling. Lukowski and Phelps trying to find any other damage, but at this point, I feel like the round is just not possible.
It doesn't seem very likely unless Phelps can find a way to carve a site open from the inside. He's sitting in red, waiting to go on through. Time will quickly shift away from his favor and into that of INTZ. Phelps goes in, spotted by Lub, who does a good amount of damage with an MP9, chases in after Phelps, and actually thinks better of running all the way through. Just grabs a more advanced position. Lukowski worms his way in towards the B site. Could get caught by Leo, could get caught by Lub, gets caught by Leo in the end. Last man alive is Phelps, and W1 catches him with a drive-by in towards Donut. 11-6. 4 spy does absolutely nothing to INTZ. And Desh, man's doing great. I've very much enjoyed his play with the op and with the rifles.
I have as well. A tremendous performance. You know, this is a map where the op can kind of take over, holding the tight angles, etc. But it's a very high risk reward because of the close angles. So, very good to see Desh having a solid performance thus far. Just pistols. 1 Tech9, 2 Deagles, and 2 Glocks. A little bit of utility and 1 set of Kevlar to flesh out this T side buy. And that does make things scary. We saw Bob, for example, just absolutely caught out in towards Donut by a Tech9 in the round prior. These weapons can be deadly. Desh, though, posted up in the same angle as before. VSM might just walk right into the angle. There's going to be a flash for him, but let's stop Desh. The answer is no. Yes, it will. Second flash will blind him. He's stuck in the corner, but he isn't finished. W1 finds the kill. Phelps finally finishes what his teammate started, but the AUG now can reign supreme. It'll find another, tag a third, and it's looking for a kill. Not quite. Woody finds the second. Okay, now this round is scary. Already more success than the round prior. Lub rotating in with Leo will stem the bleeding, finding 1 and 2, leaving just Woody in the 1v3. But the bomb plant has been secured, and a third kill would be the icing on the metaphorical cake. Woody dancing with death, trying to find something. Will find no such luck. The rifles will be recovered, at least the M4 will be. There's the AUG as well. But that was a scary round. 2 players fall, and the bomb plant is secured for Fluxo.
Bomb plant secured. It's a buy up. VSM debating if he goes for an op or not. Will not. He'll go for the AK. 5 AKs for Fluxo. INTZ more than ready to deal with this, though. Looking very good with their buy, all things considered. Og still in hand. Force. Chance to get AKs now as well. Nice nade onto Lukauzi to kick things off, and a Molotov to keep him out of cave. No counter utility thrown just yet by the T side. And Snake under the control of INTZ, but look at Phelps all the way up towards mid-house. Bobs is just chucking utility, walking right into the angle. Phelps just closes that gap, catches him off guard. Leo's here for a potential trade. He's been spotted by Phelps. Now he's stuck alone. W1 comes in to bail him out, though. Very big play from W1. Woody caught out by Leo, backing away from Snake. And he might just get Lukauzi, or History, excuse me, as well. He does. VSM and Lukauzi starting to probe in towards A, but the rotations are coming back from INTZ. Molotov will not keep them at bay. It will actually get two, though, as it's brought back to a winnable situation. But the bomb shut down by Lub. He escapes through the smoke into cave. Acting like Batman there with the smoke around, just through the shadows. The darkness is his ally. And the VSM... nice little one tap, goes for a plant, sticks it down. What does Desh have? Utility. Nade goes in, decent damage, but not quite enough. Molotov available as well. Op scoped in. VSM into the open. Desh with the finish. INTZ to 13 rounds. This is really... it's giving me 9Z Fluxo vibes.
It is. And the thing to me that really stands out is Fluxo are going for timings. They're going for swings. They're not going for, flash pop swings. They're going for just dry swings, hoping to find timings. You saw the opening duel against Phelps, as he walked back out of red. He's caught by the Og up close and personal. Then his teammate down bottom mid, on T-side mid, tries to swing on the M4 towards Catwalk. It's caught dry swinging. And then the third player up towards Catwalk is caught dry swinging, trying to catch the players falling away. It's just dry swing after dry swing, giving INTZ these opportunities. Fluxo, done with anything flashy, anything fancy and delayed. Instead, go for a no-nonsense play over towards B, and this actually does work. It does pay off. 3 kills for the price of none. It looks like Fluxo will at long last get on this board once more. Securing a rifle round, as Desh and Bobs both trade, or both save, excuse me, but really, is that round replicable? Can Fluxo just go for fast plays and find success more often than not? The answer is no. This is just a flash in the pan unless Fluxo can really do something in the round following.
It shouldn't be replicable anyway. And that's kind of how Fluxo's CT rounds were as well. Irreplicable rounds that were kind of just one-offs that shouldn't be something they can rely on. Oh, Desh, he finally does get put down, but it's still not great for Fluxo. The money, though. The money on INTZ. It's far worse than it originally appeared. They might not be able to go for a full buy. They might just half into this one. A chance for Fluxo to string a couple of rounds together, close this gap a little bit more, grab an 8th at the very least. P250's on 2, it's USP's on 3. That is it for INTZ. It's not a lot to work with. An opportunity arising now for Fluxo to get back into this game. History. Easy pickings there as the spray from Lukauzi only yields up 1. The cross down Snake into the waiting arms of Phelps, who gives him the very tight hug of removal from the server. History on the Glock for the last, and Fluxo with a very clean mop-up operation, only losing 1. Not too bad at all, but INTZ back on the buy now. This is where things get worrisome for Fluxo yet again. If they cannot convert this, then you have to call into question all their efforts, previous and future, in this map.
Yes, you do. Rifles on the board. Op present for Desh as well. We'll have to see if he can unseat the rival in history. Phelps has begun to wake up as well. 16 kills for himself. That is encouraging to see for Fluxo. At least there's that to hold on to. And they are at least assertive. They are at least playing their own game, Fluxo. They're not scared. They're not daunted. Phelps again. It's the same play. Up towards top middle. Through the red doors. And this is a big one now. If he is not respected, he could seal the deal in this round. Lub looking towards caves. Finds one. Looks for a second. Doesn't get the kill. Doesn't fall either. Phelps, this play's huge. He's not expected. He finds Bobs. He's looking for more as well. He cuts off the rotations effectively. Fluxo, what is the play? The play is to rotate around over towards A. W1 rotating in towards the middle. Aggressive play through the A halls. He'll find one. And he knows what the play is now. The op of Dash walking in the meanwhile finds another onto Phelps. And somehow INTZ dig themselves out of this hole and set up a solid post-plant retake positioning.
W1, if he's not expected, can get the drop on History as well, creeping through main. Oh, never mind, History's in Donut. Excuse me. But Woody, he's on site, loses that fight. Good flash ping from Dash, good peek from W1. History now 1v3 with the op in hand. One man coming in towards his backside, that is Lub. Will he clear around the Donut? He will. And History will be given a Donut hole or 3. That'll be 14 rounds of the board for INTZ. 10-second defuse will work out fine. This one continues to get worse and worse for Fluxo. Better and better for INTZ. And yeah, there has been a little more individual killing on the part of Fluxo. History and Phelps in particular are doing quite well. But the way they're getting a lot of their kills, Nate, is in inconsequential manners.
It doesn't matter. It's exactly that. It's timing. There's no utility around it. Sure, Phelps' play there kind of opens up a rotation back towards A. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't work. It's not. It should be easily exploited. And it's still, in the end, read and outplayed by INTZ. Their flashbangs on the retake are already proving to be more capable than Fluxo can handle. It's an aggressive play. Again, this kind of worked out over towards B a couple rounds prior. This time around, it will at least net a bomb plant. But again, in the retakes, in even footing 5 versus 5, I think INTZ have a significant advantage.
The bomb ticking away, though, very quickly. INTZ have to get a move on here. They only have a few kits, and Leo's going to get the burn kill onto VSM. Or vice versa. VSM's going to get the burn kill onto Leo. I don't know what INTZ are
saving.
They're just going to save. It looks like they really had no intention of going for it the entire round.
I think they were kind of waiting for the stall utility. That's the issue. If you go for a fast play, Fluxo, they have all of their utility left to stall instead of to take. And that is obviously the deciding factor here. I think that Molotov thrown back, who to take down? It wasn't VSM, it was VSM finding a kill onto somebody else. That was what really sealed the deal, because not only did it get the kill, it also shut down one of the only 2 avenues into the site. That's what really seals it in favor of Fluxo.
The molly pick on the Leo at lane.
Leo, that was
it.
Who it was. Yeah. Unfortunate, because they did a lot of harassing damage with their utility and their spams, but there's no confirmed damage, makes it all the more difficult. Woody now again, it's aggression. It has worked out for Fluxo. They're going to continue to go for it. This time down in towards Donut. Woody gets so much control so quickly. He's not expected at all. He finds W1 for free, catches him looking the wrong direction. Phelps again up towards red doors. He has to do something. Now Bobs has to find this. No, only a dink. Phelps wins the duel and furthers it. Fluxo indulging the individual duels, knowing they can out-aim their opponents. Leo will finally find one in his team's favor, but it's still an advantage for the T side, and it takes a lot of damage in that duel. Seems like Fluxo are going to stay alive here. They should find a 10th. Unless INTZ can really pull out all the stops here in these individual duels.
Gauzy spotted, but not eliminated. Flashed back and away towards Snake. Dash scoping in. Just misses the double swing. Could have had a lineup there. Could have gotten a pair. But instead it's a B-side abandonment, and I have to agree. I think this might be a save from INTZ and double digits for Fluxo here. Because the B-site has been abandoned. A-site more than abandoned, and there seems to be no real pressure from INTZ to stop what they have to know is going to be an B play. And they're just going to sit back and towards spawn, their opponent's spawn, and wait this one out. The timer will expire eventually, and they'll go try it again. It's very bizarre. Because
really see
realistically, INTZ could have won that round before the site even got taken.
They could have caught those guys crossing if the op stayed posted on that angle. I think they should have left the op towards doors to find the opening.
Agreed.
And granted, he did try to stick around, and the timing didn't work in his favor, but still. That could have been their way back into it. Should make this hunt at least expensive. Desh finds yet another. Good shot from him. His op shots have not been missing. bomb will go
He's
off.
got a Desert Hydra. Of course he's not going to miss.
History has the op. Desert Hydra. Desh does not.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, Desh has the pink one.
It has the chromatic aberration?
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
At first,
Souvenir
when I
Desert
first
Hydra,
saw
though,
it,
is drippy.
The Desert Hydra is amazing. I thought it was a duality at first, though. Because I just saw pink
No.
on his back. So, oh, is that a duality?
Dualities aren't pink. They're like
It's black and
ornate.
pink and gold.
I don't think there's much pink on it, I'll be honest. I think it's more ornate and oldie. Pause called, though, from INTZ. Very, very smart call here and now. Timely, I would say, before things get out of control. They know that at this point, Fluxo are playing with their, I don't want to, it sounds very brutish and rude to say, but playing with their egos. They're playing aggressive, and they're playing with their individuals at the forefront. They're not using their utility to tip the scales. They're using it to find timings and to just set up one-on-one duels. And so if INTZ can play around that, use their flashes, play the numbers game in a 2-on-1 peak, then they can really shut down this offensive that Fluxo are putting up.
Well, the saved rifles will do something here for INTZ, hopefully, for their sake. P250, Deagle on Bobs and Wit on W1. Phelps running into Donut, runs right into W1. He realizes it a bit too late and actually does get the spam in the end. The trade, the fade, and Woody just does a little bit of chip damage with the spam. Traded out by Love, who's doubled down in middle. The P250 baits him in. The aggressiveness of Fluxo called out. INTZ, they are more than ready to take this fight against Fluxo here. And now, what can Fluxo do? This is a Brazilian derby, and they are getting murdered here on their opponent's map pick. Of course, the second leg is at their home stadium. They have to get there first, bloodied and battered. If they can find a way to take the lead here, they could win it at home before they go to neutral ground for a third and final. Bobs drops down, looking for an upgrade history. Here's the footsteps of W1, and W1 will just back away into Donut, playing time and playing his HP. This could be a flawless victory for INTZ here, unless history gets this onto Bobs.
He has to get it. There's no way Bobs lives. There's no way Bobs lives. If he found that, it would be, again, a statement as to how INTZ are winning this game. And they, like I said, they needed to make an adjustment. Off the back of their tac pause, they go for that half buy around the rifles. They play the numbers game towards middle. They have the player indoors just to hold for Phelps' push, and they have two played towards Donut. One in the smoke, and it just works out so well. That spam onto Phelps completely catches him off. And INTZ, they now have 5 map points on their own map pick.
Close it out on the CT side, their strongest side of things. Aggression down middle, and Lukowski running into Jaguar lineup, but Lukowski only able to get one. Phelps traded out by W1. Woody brings it back to a man advantage for Fluxo. The kills are flying fast and furious out towards mid and Snake, and Fluxo come out ahead, 3v2. But Lub,
there's no way.
Expected.
Always expected in front of the smoke. There's no way. This is such a good play. This is an amazing play. History is still posted on it, so they are indeed respecting it. But there's no way Love should be expected with that kind of push. The op should fall off eventually. Some sort of utility towards the middle will tip him off. He'll go for the peak. Maybe go off the peak of Dash's contact. Dash jumping up, spots one, gets the kill. Love doesn't move. This is perfect. You should have one dead to rise guaranteed, and the second spotted or at least known. He'll find that. He'll get the heck out of dodge, and that is the advantage for INTZ. Lub biding his time, striking at the critical moment, and the Snake now feels like a constrictor, slowly forcing them into the angle. VSM is not long for the world, and